Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, wa Malak, Yahweh Shah, for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson. Right? The title of the lesson is It's Okay Being Poor, because dealing with prophecy, prophecy says that in the last days that the Israelites will be in a poor state, mentally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So, Lord willing, we can get some understanding on it's okay to be poor. Because a lot of people, they look at other people's lives. They base other people's lives off of how they should be and what their success should be and how much money they should have. But it ain't how we're supposed to do it, especially in this truth, man. Yeah, I wish I didn't have a house. Yeah, I wish I didn't have a car. Yeah, I wish I didn't have anything. He told one of the men in the Bible that he had nowhere to lay his head. And it was okay being in that position for him, right? The main objective is to wake up your people so that we can get out of this position, so that we can get out of this broken kingdom. So let's continue. So this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. And it reads, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty. Poverty is you severely poor. So the Lord know our works. He know the tribulations, the things that we go through on a daily basis. And he know how poor we is. This is an end time prophecy that is applied to our life as of today. So poverty. It says, but thou art rich. Why would the Lord say we're poor, but we're rich? It's talking about us being rich in spirit. Our spirit is rich, no matter how poor, no matter how you see homeless Israelites that still give praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. They're ignorant. They have that zeal of God, but not according to knowledge, but they're still rich in spirit. It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So what we're focusing on right now is him saying, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty. We're in a poor state. He was talking to the Israelites. He was talking to the churches, but these churches go back to the Israelites. If you're a spiritual man, you'll understand this. Each church is symbolic for you as an individual or you as a congregations, right? And we all want to be like the Church of Philadelphia, where he didn't have too much to say about that church, right? But the title of the lesson, it's okay to be poor. The Most High knows our poverty. He knows how poor we are. Hey, us as a whole, you as an individual, I don't know. Every brother is not just totally poor, man, right? Some brothers have more than enough. But I'm speaking to the ones that's really struggling, man. They come from the mud, come from the bottom. Because, even though they at that position right now, there was a point in time where they did come from the bottom being an Israelite. That is one of the curses in Deuteronomy, that we was going to be very poor, man. Our heaven is going to be iron and the bottom is going to be brass, right? So let's continue. Let's get Romans chapter 9, because it said in Revelation, it says, but thou art rich, right? Let's see why we're rich. Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. All right, Romans chapter 9, verse 4, it says, who are Israelites to whom, and I'm going to just get the points. Who are Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants, with an S, and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen. So this is what makes us rich, because we have all of these things. If you're a spiritual man, you'll understand that this comes far more greater than you being carnally rich, man. Being rich in the spirit is more important, because though we at a low estate, though we're poor, we're in the slums, we're in the ghettos with dirty tap water and unhealthy foods, and everything is used already. We are rich. We have everything that is to come. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, in Revelation 21. But you have to believe that. You really have to believe that. And that's something you have to work out with the Most High, But the fact of the matter is, just because you poor don't mean the Most High loves you less. That's not what that means. It actually shows more favor to you, because it gives you a bigger opportunity to change, right? Because you don't have too much on your plate. The homeless men, they're the most free men on earth. They don't have to go to work. They don't have to. They don't have bills to pay. They don't have to put gas in a car. All of that costs time and money, and that's something they do not have to worry about. Right? That's the benefit of being homeless. It's probably the only benefit, but hey. So let's go to Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12. All right, so I want to start at 16. Let's start at 15. Luke chapter 12 and verse 15. Matter of fact, let's start at 13. Let's get the whole context. Let's just read it all. So Luke chapter 12 and 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me. So there was a man came to Yahushua. He says, can you make my brother divide the inheritance? Half belongs to me. And then he says, and he said unto him, man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? So this is what the Lord told the man. I have no authority to do that here on earth. He says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. So this is something we should all beware of. Yahushua was talking to this man, but we know that the word speaks volumes. It applies to us today also. So we're supposed to beware of covetousness. Then it says, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possess. Very critical, very important. So it don't matter all the things you got. You got flat screens in your house. You got all the electronics you need. You got PS4. You got the Xbox One. You got the 2020 car outside. You got real good central heat and air. You have no worries in that area. You have all the food that you need. That's not what makes a man. That's not that. That's how today's society is taught, that you don't have these things, that you are nothing. But the Most High does not look at that. The Most High looks at the heart. He looks who really loves him, right? And you have to understand, a spiritual man will understand why the Most High don't make some of us with a lot of money. Think about it. Really take time to think about, when you get money, what do? All of us, when we get money, we either go spend it or we meditate on that money that we have, what we can do with it. It takes away time from the Most High. So it's a good thing that you don't have a lot of money. That's what we did in the land in Jerusalem. Let's get that right quick in Isaiah. This ain't even in the lesson, but we can squeeze it in there right quick. So this is Isaiah chapter 2, and let's start at let's start at 7. It says, their land also is, let's start at 6. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. This is what we was doing when we was in the land, when we had everything we wanted. This is what we did. This is how people get when they get a lot of money, man. The richest people are the most profitable people. They think they can't be touched. They say they the God at whatever they do. They put those titles on themselves. They have no idea that they are poor, rich, and miserable. Right? So let's keep going. It says, their land also is full of silver and gold. Neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses. Neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land also is full of idols. Here comes the sin. With all of these riches, it brings forth sin. Because you feel like you can't be touched. So is it bad that you're poor? You're in a poor state. You being poor, it keeps you diligent. It keeps you diligent, and that's a beautiful thing. So it says, their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands. They worship the work of their own hands. Whether it's you doing it or whether you're paying somebody to do it, it's still the same thing. We got to think in a modern way. Don't listen to somebody that say those scriptures, that's the scriptures that was in antiquity. We can't use that as of today. So what do we do with the Bible then? A spiritual man will see the spiritual things in the scriptures. And only another spiritual man will understand a spiritual man that's actually looking at the spiritual aspect of the scriptures, man. right? It says uh, that their it says that which their own fingers have made, and the mean man bowed down, and the great man humbled himself. Therefore, forgive them not. So, and that's just what it is. When you got a lot of money, it takes away time from the Most High, time that He deserves. Right? We're supposed to be seeking the Most High 10 times more. Imagine if He gave you a lot of money. And there's even a saying in the world: you want to kill a crackhead, give him $1 million. Why does it say that? It's because he's going to smoke it all up. He's going to smoke that $1 million up. So imagine when you get $1 million, what you would do with it, that you would think is okay at the moment until that money is gone. Really meditate on that. But let's go back to Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12 and 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. So he had the abundance of fruits. You know, back then in antiquity, when you had fruits and vegetables and crops, that you was considered a rich man because you could sell that on a daily basis. It's like a company, just like a farmer. So it says, I have no room where to bestow my fruits. So let's see what he did. Let's see what this rich man did. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. So he said, I'm going to tear down these barns over here, these little small barns. And I got enough money, riches, and money and riches to create even bigger barns to bestow all my fruits. This is all he was worried about at the end of the day. He wasn't focused on the Most High. He was focusing on his riches, his substance. And we just read that in I believe it was Luke also, where he says, your riches does not consist. In verse 15, it says, for a man's life consisted not in the abundance of things which he possessed. So dropping back down, it says, verse 18, Salakia, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. So this is what rich people do. This is what rich people do. They, let me just get it. I don't want to slaughter it. I don't want to slaughter it. So like, yeah, I like to speak with scriptures. So, Lord willing, you can just write these scriptures down as I go and go over them on your own at a slower pace, if that helps. If you can keep up, all praises. But Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So this is the same thing that in Luke chapter 12 is saying, where it says, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. This is how the rich look at it. They think that they gain the whole world, but they have no idea that they lost their soul, because they're only focused on pleasing their flesh. They're only focusing on what makes them happy. Because they are rich, they feel like they are God, right? That's why it's not always good to be rich. It's not always good to bestow upon you a lot of money. Imagine if the Most High made everybody rich. Look at the opportunities that the rich people have, man. So if you don't have those riches, that means it slims your opportunities, and it makes your and I'm talking about slimming your opportunities as in being wicked, man. Look what men do when they like commit crimes. They commit crimes against people's wives. All of that. That's all comes from riches. So it slims it down when you're not rich, when you're poor. It slims all those opportunities down. So be grateful that the Most High put you in a position that you're in. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, right? So let's continue. It says, verse 20, but God said unto him, this is what the Most High said unto this rich man, thou fool. The Most High called him a damn fool. This night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. So there's 2 points right here. So it says the Most High is going to require his soul, and who shall those things belong to after that? So the Lord is going to kill this rich man. Then what? You gained all those riches for what? And for who? It tells you in Job chapter 27 that though you heap up clay and dust and gold and jewelry, the righteous shall put it on. So you're not going to be able to enjoy that. You're just not, man. And this is what happens to a lot of rich people. Look at these celebrities dropping like flies, man. Over the years being killed, they get themselves to a position where they rule the whole world, and Esau has to silence them because they get too much riches and power. So Esau has to silence them. So what does that mean? Right here, verse 20. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. The Lord is in control of everything. But who you think required of his soul? The Most High was like, go get him. That's a foolish man. They trust in riches. Right? It says, then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So the next point, so is he that layeth up treasures for himself and is not rich towards God. So that goes back to Revelations chapter 2 and 9, where it says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. We're rich towards God. That's why I went to Romans chapter 9, proving that we have everything. We're rich towards God. We have the service of God. We are the richest towards God, man. You should be happy about that and not the carnal things, man. You're being in a poor estate. Because to be honest, we're all in a poor estate. All of us. Right? So let's get this. This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have no need of nothing, and knoweth not. This is something these rich people don't consider. Because only thing they're doing is spending money. They're showing their chains. They're pulling out big bankrolls of money. They have no idea the times we're in. Right? It says, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. They're all in sin. They have a lost soul, and they're really poor in the inside. They're not rich towards God. Because you have to know this truth to be rich towards God. That's the only thing that makes you rich. Imagine, and the only reason why I say that, because imagine you having $1 million, $2 million in your bank, and you not even knowing that it's in there. What is that going to profit anyone? You're a millionaire and don't even know it. So imagine being an Israelite, but you don't know that you're an Israelite, or you're not applying this to your life. You're not rich towards God then. You have all that money in your bank and it's going nowhere, or you don't even know it's in there. You don't care to know it's in there. So Lord willing, somebody got edified with that. So let's go back to this. Let's go to Sirach chapter 20 and verse 9. So this is Sirach chapter 20, verse 9. It says, there is a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. So there are sinful men that have gain in evil things. That's why you wonder, you're like, damn, how he got so much money? This dude is a straight sinner. This dude worships Satan. He don't keep the Sabbath. He don't keep the high holy days. Right? It's breaking it down to you right here. It says there are sinners that have good success. But guess what? They receive their consolation. They receive that consolation. So I could give me 1 second. Right. So it says that they receive their consolation in the scriptures. I was looking for something, Salakia. Salakia. So let me read this again. It says there is a sinner that have good success in evil things. Could you just imagine what men and women do to get to the position that they're at? And we know this. We all watch these so-called conspiracy theories of the Illuminati and what it takes for you to be able to get to the top. We all watch videos of that. We all see what you have to do. That's what Yahweh Shah was talking about. You gained the whole world, but you lost your soul. Right? Men are giving away their manhood for riches. Women are giving away their the only sacred thing that they have for riches. That's a horrible thing. So there are sinners, people that breaks God's laws, because that's what sin is, the breaking of the commandments, that have good success in evil things, things that's contrary to the law, statutes, commandments. You should look at this and be happy with the position you're in, because the Lord didn't put you in that position to where it's too late for you to understand something. It says, and there's a gain that turned into loss. Some people gain stuff and it turned into a loss. And that goes for the righteous and the wicked. Hey, it's about the Lord and what his objective, what his will is for you. Whatever your lot is, you're going to fulfill it. That's just what it is. You can't run from that. You cannot run from that. Right? So let's go to Salakia. Let's go to 1 Timothy. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 3. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3. And it reads, if any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness. So if a man is not following the law, statutes, commandments, and the prophets that showed us, that gave us the judgments of the Most High God, and the apostles that showed us how to walk in the fruits of the Spirit, hey, we have everything we need. We have the cheat codes of the world. That's the Bible. We have those cheat codes. We have the understanding of these cheat codes. Right? We have all these things. Right? So it says, he is proud, verse 4, he is proud, knowing nothing, but dotting about questioning and strifes of words. Wherefore cometh envy, strife, railing, evil, surmising. Hey, and I challenge you to go look these words up. We're not going to look up these words right now, but you know, that's something you can do on your own time. That's something you can do on your own time, you know. But verse 5, it says, perverse, disputing of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing, this is the point, supposing that gain is godliness. So you have men out there that's really supposing that gain is godliness. They think if you're poor, that the Most High is not dealing with you. When the Most High's people are the poorest. Look, if you've read the Gospels, then you should know how poor Yahushua was. He wasn't ashamed of being poor. And if you really look deep into it, if you're a spiritual man, you will see he got to accomplish what he accomplished because he was poor. He was offered riches, but did he take it? Did Yahushua take those riches in Luke chapter 4? No, he did not. He kept his mind focused on the mission, despising how poor he was. That didn't matter. Satan, the only thing Satan wanted him to do is bow down to him. And when you Google bow down, it means to consent. It means to be weak and consent unto the rules and regulations of whatever society that you're in, which is breaking God's commandments in what we call Babylon the Great, America, right? If you consent unto them, right? Even your food job, McDonald's, they make you cut your beard. They make you cut your beard. And they try to say it's health reasons. Well, how would any man cook if it's all about you cutting your beard and not getting hair in the food? There's technology is so far up that they have things to where you can cover your beard and not get hair in it. But they use this excuse as a cover up for you to cut your beard and sin against God. But let's read this again. Perverse, verse 5. It says, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. We're not supposed to be around these kind of people who think gain is godliness. Why? Because those demons can hop off of you and jump on them, hop off of them and jump on you, Salakia. And that's very important. That's very critical because you don't want those demons on you, right? You don't want to be trying to find out your next get rich scheme. You don't want that. All right. All right. So this is Sirach chapter 13, and let's get the point. 24. So this is Sirach 13 and 24. Riches are good unto him that have no sin, It says riches are good unto him that have no sin. So at the end of the day, some brothers or sisters are rich. Those brothers, and they diligent also. I can't take that away from them. Some are, but the majority aren't. Some are though. But it says, so like I'm gonna read again. It says, riches are good unto him that have no sin. So the lesson is about being in a poor state. If the Lord makes you rich, hey, all praises. It's because you are focused, and he gave you the opportunity to stay focused as he make you rich. Pray for wisdom. The Lord will give you, he'll add more unto you. And one of those could be riches. Look at Solomon, 1 Kings chapter 3. It says, and the Lord will make you rich. Hey, so let me read it again. Verse 24, riches are good unto him that have no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. So only an ungodly man will look at him being poor as an evil thing, like the Lord hate him. That's why brothers use that excuse, I gotta feed my babies. The Lord ain't feeding my babies. The Lord ain't doing this, because they look at poverty as an evil thing. They're not looking at the bigger picture. And then when they get rich, they still have the same mindset. It's still my babies gotta eat. The Lord ain't feeding my babies. So that's your whole objective in the first place. So I'm gonna read it again. And poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly man. An ungodly man gonna look at poverty as evil, right? Let's see what Solomon said though in Proverbs. Let's get Proverbs chapter 30. Hey, this is one of my favorite chapters also. Proverbs chapter 30. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 30, we're gonna start at verse 7. Hey, and as a camp, we bring the scripture out a lot. Right? So it's Proverbs chapter 30 and 7. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me not. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. So this is what he's asking for. Don't give me poverty nor riches. Like I said, some brothers have more than other brothers. Some brothers has less than other brothers. So there's different levels to poverty. Whatever position you in, the Lord put you in that position because he felt like you could handle that. Right? Whatever position you in, the Lord wanted you to go through that because that is your lot. The Lord felt like you can handle that. So right here it says, give me not poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. As long as I get my daily bread for the day, you should be fine. You should be fine. You don't always need extra money. You don't always need extra money, man. It's not about that. It's about you actually enjoying life, right? And yes, a lot of things cost. Everything costs now. But that don't mean you're supposed to be, hey, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. And expedient goes into necessary. Everything ain't necessary for you to do, even if you do got that little bit of money. But it's not always necessary for you to have that extra money every time either. Because look what the mindset you in. You know, it creates more opportunity for you to worship the Most High God. All right. So let's continue. It says, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? And this is what they do, man. They consider themselves the Lord. They consider themselves God. So they get full and they deny the Lord. They gain the whole world and lose their soul. They have no idea how naked, wretched, miserable, blind they are. They don't look at that. They're blinded by the desire of money. What it says, money is the root of all evil. When they get that money, that's where the real evil come from. That's why they look at you being poor as evil. It's a backwards thing. It's all backwards. Those things have to be turned upside down, though. All right. So let's keep going. It says, or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. So we don't want to do that either. We don't want to be so poor that we have to steal, food. We have to steal raiment or have to steal these things. You don't want to be in that state either. You want to be in a content state. You want to be fed with food convenient for you. You don't want to take the Lord's name in vain, which is represent him in a wrong way. That's something you don't want to do. right? And these are wisdom lessons, man. Lord willing, somebody get edified with these lessons. These lessons is dealing with wisdom, right? Coming straight out the scriptures, whether they hear or whether they forbear. So this is Sirach chapter 31 and verse 2. Sirach chapter 31 and verse 2. It says, watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. The rich have great labor in gathering riches together. They have great labor. It takes a lot of work to get where those men are. And guess what? They still have to give up their manhood. The woman still have to give up what's most sacred to her. So that great labor in this today's society, it means nothing. So I'm gonna read it again. The rich have great labor in gathering riches together, and when he rests, he is filled with the delicates. Right? That's very true. He's filled with those delicacies. We see it. You know, they showing their chains, they showing their grill, they showing how much money they got in their pocket. They show all that. Verse 4, it says, the poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. So that's a good thing, it's still needy, because why? Because you can go to the Most High and ask him. You don't have to do it yourself where you be like, who is the Most High? You be full and deny him and say, who is God? Who is the Lord? And you don't have to. The fact of the matter is, these people don't physically say this. This is their actions. This is their actions. They apply these actions to their lives. All right, so let's keep going. It says, he that loveth gold shall not be justified. You are not going to be justified if you love money more than you love the Most High. And he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. So if you follow in corruption, destruction, then you're going to have enough of that destruction that you follow. You know what they say, you reap what you sow. And that's just what it is. If you reap corruption, trying to get to riches and gold, hey, that's going to be your ruin. You're going to be given over to that. Could you imagine have all the money in the world, but you have nobody to spend the money with? You have nobody to love you? All those things, that's what you was getting rich for, to have all these things in your possession, including those spiritual things, but you don't have those spiritual things. You're going out to the Bahamas alone. You're going to Disneyland and all these different places alone. You can't even find a woman to have kids with because she's ready to divorce you and take half your money. This is the society that we are dealing with today. So you being poor is not so bad, man. Because then a woman will look at you and see you for who you really are instead of for what you got. Right? Lord willing, that didn't go over people's head, but let's continue. It says, verse 6, gold has been the ruin of many. There you go. And their destruction was present. So we seen them gold destroy a lot of people because they wanted to stay in these rich positions. So they had, the Lord got rid of them. The Lord required of their soul. They got comfortable. They figured they didn't need the Most High. It's a scary position to be in, being rich, man. It says it's almost impossible for a rich man to make it into the kingdom. It's almost impossible. Yahushua said that nothing is impossible when you pray. But it says it's almost impossible for a rich man to get into heaven. That is one of the only things he said that was almost impossible, is for you to be rich and make it into the kingdom. Because the scriptures talk about you receiving your consolation. I believe it's Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6 and Salakia. Luke chapter 6 and 24. He says, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. It says, I'm going to read again. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. So you receive your riches, man. You wanted it on a physical level, so you got it on a physical level. Nothing spiritual, which means spiritual rich towards God, man. You receiving the kingdom. You actually knowing who God is. Those are the real riches, man. Those are the real riches. And that might go over people's head, but those are the real riches. Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, that's the real treasure. Right? It tells us that. Let's get that. Sirach 29 and 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High. and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. So this is what we're supposed to store our riches in, being rich towards the Most High, keeping the law, statutes, commandments. Hey, and who knows? The Lord might make you a rich man. You know, he might feel like you can handle that, you know. But then, you know, it'll be up to you if you want to, if you can maintain that, or if you let that carry you away, you let your flesh carry you away. All right, so I want to continue on in Sirach chapter 31. Sirach chapter 31 and verse 7. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therein. Right? And you know, sacrifice, it comes with blood and fire. You're going to be taken with that. The lake of fire, or you getting put to death. That blood or that fire, man. It's a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. Lord willing, you was edified with that. That's very important because the scriptures talk about it in Psalms 37, I believe it is, or Psalm 17, about people being burnt up like the fat of lambs. And what do you do when you make a sacrifice? You take the fat of the lambs and you burn it. So that's going into what this is saying right here. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therein. Hey, you're going to be burnt up. You're going to be put to death, right, for making that sacrifice into gold, money, worshiping that, right? Verse 8, blessed is the rich that is found without blemish and have not gone after gold. So why is it talking about a rich man that is without blemish and have not gone after gold? It's talking about you being rich towards the Most High God. You found without blemish, like how Yahushua was found without blemish. 1 Peter chapter 1 and 9, or it might be 21. But I know it's 1 Peter chapter 1 where it says he was a lamb without blemish. So this is right here is talking about you being rich towards God. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish. But it says, and have not gone after gold. You don't have to go after gold. You don't even have to pray for it. The Lord is going to give you what he feel like you can have. Right? And the more you grow in the truth, the more the Most High give you, because you have that experience. You can handle it. Imagine you coming into the truth and you expect to be a millionaire. He make you a millionaire. You gone like that. You got what you needed. You back in the world, spending money, breaking bread. So it's very important that things is very important, but is very critical that you being poor, you come into the truth and things get worse. That's a good thing. Things getting worse, it creates more opportunities for you to serve the Most High, putting that fire on you. Right? So let's one more verse. It says, who is he? And he will call him blessed, for wonderful things have he done among his people. So that's what it's all about. You doing those wonderful works among your people. You know, going out to teach. You actually walking in the fruits of the Spirit and showing your brothers how to. You know, congregations are very important because we help purify each other. This brother's good in this. He have these characteristics to please God. Well, he can put the fire on the rest of the brothers to do it. And we're all putting our different characteristics that the Most High is pleased with, obviously, or we wouldn't be together in the truth. And we put them all in one thing, man. We purify each other. Congregations are very important. And the word congregation means brethren. It goes into brethren or fellowship. So it's very important, man. So from there, let's get Mark chapter 4. Let's get Mark chapter 4. Mark chapter 4. And this is a classic scripture. Everybody know Mark chapter 4 and what it's talking about. So Mark chapter 4 and 14. It says, the sower soweth the word. Right? So this is all about the sower sowing the word, and it gives us the characteristics of the men that falls out of the truth. The two definitions of the men that fall out of the truth, and then that one definition that the men that stays in the truth. So it lets us know about the sower sowing the word, and it's only 3 places that you will end up. Well, it's only 2 places you end up, but 2 of those reasons is you falling out of the truth. That one is you staying in the truth. Right? So it says, I'm gonna drop down to the point, verse 18. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. So you have Hey, almost all the Israelites in the whole entire planet didn't heard this word, right? It's across the four corners of the earth. They heard this word. So this word has been sown, right? So it says these are the ones that sown among thorns, though, such as hear the word and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word and it becometh unfruitful. This is one of the situations that happens on a mass scale. That's why Yahushua is making reference of this. They let riches and deceit choke the word out of them. That's why it's good for you to be in a poor estate. And we don't sit here and just complain about how poor we is, because we still enjoy ourselves. We still have everything we need to do what we need to do, right? I don't have to go to no damn Disneyland. I don't have to go to the Bahamas, to Jamaica. I don't have to go to foreign countries to have a good time, man, and wait on the Lord with my brothers and my sisters. You don't have to do that. Society taught you that. It's called the American dream. But to live the American dream, you have to be asleep. How you gonna live a dream if you ain't sleep? Right, so let's read the next verse. And these are they which are sown among good ground, such as hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit. Some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Hey, and that's self-explanatory. People doing that work, not worrying about no riches. So I want to get this last precept. I want to get this one more time. I already brought it out, but I want to get it one more time. So this is Revelation chapter 2 and 9. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. So this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So the Most High knows your works. He knows what you're doing for his ministry, for his body, for his only begotten son, for him, most importantly. He says, and the tribulation, the things that you go through for doing those works, being different from the rest of society, coming out of the world, coming back to his law, statutes, commandments. This is the tribulation that you have to go through. Through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. It says, and poverty, how poor you are in this whole entire situation. You know, you doing the works, you poor, but you still doing it. It shows faith. You going through trials and tribulation. You still poor, but you still doing it. That's a beautiful act. And don't let social media, don't let Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these different social medias blind you into making you believe, because it happens to the best of us. We look at certain, people, in their lives, as in, I'm talking about the riches of the people that have riches. And we be like, dang, that would seem cool to have that had that much money to be able to do these things. That is Satan talking to you. That's Satan speaking to you, man. We got to learn to ignore him, like how Yahushua HaMashiach ignored him. Right? So let's read it. It says, I know thy works and thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and under the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So Lord willing, man, somebody was edified with this lesson. It's okay to be poor, man. It is okay, because pretty soon we're about to get up out of this captivity, and we ain't have to worry about none of that. We don't have to worry about being oppressed. Not only poor, but being oppressed. We don't have to worry about none of that pretty soon. So like I said, Lord willing, somebody was edified with this lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahushua, and to the 12 tribes out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. Death to America. Shalom, wa brak, mashpakah.